2017 to order. We do have a quorum. Let's please stand and pledge to the flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All individuals are asked to either silence or turn off cell phones, pages, or other electronic devices that may disrupt the meeting. Approve the agenda. Approve the agenda as posted in accordance with the open meeting law, and here and place all agenda items on the table for the discussion, with under adding the tobacco permit for the golf course on the consent, and then Resolution 2017-44 under new business E. What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion. I'll second it.
I got a motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Councilmember Gushik to approve the agenda. Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the minutes, a copy of the minutes for the special meeting of June 5th, 2017, the special work session meeting of June 5th, 2017, and the regular city council meeting of June 5th, 2016 are enclosed. What's the wish of the council?
I move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Lundberg, second by Councilmember Knopfler to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the bills, checks number 96524 through 96635, totaling $238,156.21. What's the wish of the council?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion by Councilmember Liljegren, second by Alderman Hercock to approve the bills. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Awards, donations, presentations, proclamations. We got an award. Trunk Highway 27 Memorial Bridge Railroad Crossing Grant, Initiative Foundation. Greg?
Yep, I'm pleased to announce that the Initiative Foundation awarded the City of Little Falls $2,500 towards the feasibility report for the Trunk Highway 27 study.
What's the wish of the council?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Hercock, second by Councilmember Hanson to accept. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda, the Animal Control Report, May 2017 receive. Building Division Report, May 2017 receive. Falls Ballroom requests beer and wine in Maple Island Park. Rock the Park, approve. Fire Department Report, May 2017 receive. Heritage Preservation Commission minutes, June 2017 receive. Housing and Redevelopment Authority minutes, May 2017 receive. Personnel Policy 12, Employee Benefits, amend, approve. Public Works Department Report, May 2017 receive. Wastewater Treatment Facility Report, May 2017 receive. Water Treatment Facility Report, May 2017 receive. Tobacco Permit, Golf Course, approve. What's the wish of the council on the consent?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to receive and approve the items from the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Liljegren to approve the consent. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public hearings and lettings. Public hearing, Resolution 2017-42, Tax Increment Financing District Number 39, DJ Holdings, LLC, adopt. I don't see David. Has Lori or John want to take them?
I think Carol will speak.
Carol's gonna? Okay. Open the public hearing at 7:34.
Good evening, Carol Anderson from Morrison County Community Development. I guess I'm standing in for David Brown. And between Lori and John, maybe you can fill in the blanks too. This TIF district that we are requesting is for a parcel of land over in the West Side Industrial Park. It is property owned by DJ Holdings, or DJ Products, and Joe Berg is here to speak about it, but back in 2000, the city helped them build their facility there. It was 5,000 square feet, and he was, at that time, he was working there with his brother, and I think they were going to add 2 to 3 people. And so the company's grown. And he's purchased the property to the south of him, and he wants to build a building on that. We've been working with David Drown and the assessor's office, and he needs some assistance because, for those of you who may remember, it was an old farmstead, and there was some demolition debris there from some concrete and stuff that was buried in. The other thing is the property is a little bit lower, and he needs a loading dock, and he's going to have to build that property up, so a lot of fill is going to have to be brought in. And tax increment financing would be able to pay for those projects. I believe David said that it would generate, about $185,000 over 9 years? Am I right, Lori?
I believe that's what the budget is set at.
Okay.
We're looking at probably $110,000.
Okay.
But I think we set the budget at $185 in case there are additional increments.
Okay. And this would be a pay-as-you-go tax increment district. Are there any questions?
Questions for Carol?
If not, I think I'll ask Joe Berg to come up and just talk a little bit more about what he's intending on doing.
As Carol said, it was 1999 I came here before the council on our first building that we had. Since that building, we started with about 3-4 employees, like she said. We've had 2 expansions and 3 remodels, and I'm completely filled up on space in our current building there. As you can see, the 491082000 is where our current location is. And with change of some leadership at the council approximately 10 years ago, I ended up buying this sequence of parcels south of me from you at the city to make sure that that was my next plan if we ever did have the opportunity to expand. So now we're to a point where we're completely filled. We're running a shift and a half pretty much year-round with employees. We have over, I was trying to tell Carol, but we have over 40 employees right now. I don't have the exact number. It's pretty close to 50 employees we have at our pace. We hire industrial engineers. We have full-time purchasing people. We have, we're doing business all over Minnesota, all over the states, all over the world. We're shipping our products to. We originally started back in 1996, just pushing the shopping carts back in the grocery stores. Since I've sold that business off to another company, and now we specialize with everything on wheels. So we're moving airplanes, we're moving buses, we're moving hospitality carts in hotels. We're moving garbage dumpster and multifamily units. We're moving over-the-road trailers. We can basically move around everything on wheels. One of the biggest expansions that we had is into the railroad industry. They've had a big ramp up the last few years, and we can actually push 3 rail cars inside of a maintenance facility that are full, which exceeds about 800,000 pounds of weight on wheels. So it's getting a pretty big market right now. So we've gone from pushing shopping carts to pushing rail cars with our technology. So this actually marks the 20th anniversary of our company. We started in 1996, and we keep growing, hopefully. Any other questions? Or
You got any questions for him? No? Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Open up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to speak? Anyone from the public wish to speak?
I'll just step up again. Again, Carol Anderson from Community Development. I was here when Joe came and we did the first deal with him. And, thinking 2 to 3 employees, we were really pleased to have that in town. And in those days, and I don't know if we gave you one, we usually would send a North Fork Island pine to the company and say, come grow with us in Little Falls. And that's what he's done. And now he has just under 50 employees. I mean, this is what economic development is about. He started out in his garage, and then we helped him into a building, and now he needs to expand, and he's a good employer and a good corporate citizen. And so I would hope that you would support this TIF district for him.
Carol, can you explain how tax increment financing actually benefits?
This is public comment, Frank. We only got 2 minutes, so I guess she wants to make it quick.
How it actually works?
Yeah.
Well, if this is a piece of property, and say the property taxes on it are $1,000, they go to the county, city, school district. Joe comes along, puts his building on, and let's say the property taxes are $11,000. That $10,000 is the increment, and that's what you can collect every year. The city, county, school district says, okay, we're not going to take those funds for 9 years. Instead, we're going to pay that back to him, that $10,000 every year for 9 years, so that he can pay for whatever's in the ground or directly upon the ground. After the 9 years are up, TIF district goes away, and you're rolling just fine. So his probably ended in 2009 would be my guess. And he's done expansions without help before. So, I think now because this is significant and there's some soils issues and that out there, I could understand where he would need some help.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wish to speak? Final call. Anyone from the public wish to speak? Hearing none, 7:42, we'll close the public hearing. What's the wish of the council on Resolution 2017-42?
I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Got a motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Councilmember Knopfla to approve Resolution 2017-42. Discussion?
Lori, enlighten me, does this come with a recommendation in support of the EDA?
Yes, the EDA did meet and discuss this, and they are in support of this tax increment.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
What is the name of the company? DJ Products. Okay.
Anyone else? Hearing none, resolution, call the roll, please.
Hurkak?
Yes.
Gushik?
Yes.
Lundberg? Yes. Zilka?
Yes.
Hanfler?
Yes.
Liljegren?
Yes.
Knopfler?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Carries.
Resolution 2017-43, tax increment financing, District 40, ABS Properties, adopt.
Carol?
7:43, we'll open the public hearing.
Well, this is a public hearing for a TIF district for ABS. And they are a new company to the community, kind of like Joe was here 20 years ago. And they're coming, they're interested in purchasing property in Chief Hole in the Day, north of, there it is. And that is north of Airborne. Okay, so it's on the very northern end of the industrial park. And their issue is they do need to have some loading docks as well. I think it would actually help with some of the power extension out into that area. And we're looking, again, working with David Drown and the assessor, you set the budget for $165,000. Lori, what do you think the costs will be?
I believe we were looking at 60 or 80,000 for increment on this project.
Okay. Now, this TIF district would be an upfront TIF district. And the one for Joe was a pay-as-you-go. Every time he pays his property taxes, you'll cut him a check and pay him back. Now, in ABS's case, it's going to be upfront. The money's going to come in. Either are we going to have the bank purchase a bond, or can we float that internally?
We will do it internally, but it's because they're of the type of financing they're doing, the bank is requiring or requesting that we do this as an upfront increment to them.
Okay, we have the gentleman here, and what their company does is they provide sandblasting supplies to various industries across the upper Midwest. So Jason, do you want to come up and just tell them what your company is about?
Hello, my name is Jason Johnson. I am one of the two owners, Shannon Martinson, who is here with me as my partner in ABS Supply. It is a small business dream like many of us had. We started and opened this in my garage 8 years ago, one-stall garage with a car in it. And now we are at the point where we are renting a facility over 10,000 square feet in St. Cloud, and we have outgrown that. We looked at properties all the way from St. Cloud to Pequot Lakes, cities, municipalities, and we hands down have chosen Little Falls as our first choice and ideal place to build and expand our business. This building that we're looking at putting in place will not only allow us to be more efficient and to hire more people, but it will allow us to grow and continue to support the growth that we've experienced. What we do is we sell to manufacturers and contractors across the United States. We personally call on an 8-state area, have 4 outside salespeople that travel, but we are specialist niche players in blasting supplies, equipment, media, grit, safety equipment. We do everything from install $1 million turnkey systems for people like Case and Caterpillar, all the way down to helping, Farmer Joe behind the barn blast his rake or harrow in the off-season. And we don't discriminate between large or small. But that's what we do. And because we are young and growing, we have put all our money back into the company and back into hiring people. We now have 8 full-time employees, and they would be coming here with us to this location. It would suit us very well. And we're excited about the opportunity to work with the city of Little Falls and be here. So hopefully, if anyone has any questions, please ask me about them, but we would be proud to be part of this community.
Anybody got any questions for Jason? Sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Open up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to speak?
Again, Carol Anderson from Community Development. You're seeing a new company come in just like Joe did, with a few employees hoping to grow. And this is what economic development is all about. And I think this is a good company. Community Development is in the process of also helping them with a possible loan in the future. And I think how big of a building are you going to build?
12,000 square feet.
Okay, so it's a nice, substantial building. So again, I would hope that you would support the project.
Carol, didn't Airborne start in a garage also?
Yes, they started in a garage, Lawrence Ekblat's garage up around Cushing, and look at what they have become now, So, we're starting to see all the seeds we planted 20 years ago. Economic development is a long-term, long game that you have to play, and the fruits of it are really paying off.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Anyone else wish to speak? Third and final call. Anyone else wish to speak? Hearing none, 7:49, we'll close the public hearing. What's the wish of the council?
I make a motion to approve. Second.
Got a motion by Mayor Zilka, second by Alderman Hercock, to approve Resolution 2017-43. Any discussion?
Mr. President, I'd just comment that this was also supported by Economic Development Authority.
Thank you.
I'm just surprised all the businesses that start in garages, and we can't do that in Little Falls.
It's not legal.
Council President,
Yep.
the other thing I would mention is that as this particular project goes forward and as things progress, we will be coming back to the City Council for approval to sell those 2 lots in the industrial park to ABS Supply.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, resolution, call a roll, please.
Gushik?
Yes.
Lundberg? Yes. Zilka?
Yes.
Hanfler?
Yes.
Liljegren?
Yes.
Knopfler?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Hurkak?
Yes.
Carries.
Old business, stop sign installation, 4th Avenue Southwest and 7th Street. Received, deny. Greg?
At our last council meeting, we received a petition to install a stop sign at 7th Street and 4th Avenue Southwest, as you can see on the exhibit behind me. Currently, there are stop signs at the 3 intersections surrounding it. The one to the north is actually where Lincoln School is at. This intersection does not meet the requirements of our stop sign policy or the vehicle requirements in terms of the traffic counts. So tonight, we are recommending denying the installation of the stop sign at that location.
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to deny the stop sign according to the recommendation by Greg.
Got a motion by Councilmember Gushik, second by Councilmember Liljegren to deny. Any discussion?
Like, what are the drawbacks to having a stop sign there? I went and checked out the intersection. It doesn't look like it'd affect a whole lot of people, and if the person right on the corner wants one, it didn't really, nothing jumped out at me, as a reason to say no.
It's more of a, if you put it there, you have to put, you open the floodgates, so to speak, at putting stop signs at a number of other intersections as well. So we've created a policy a number of years ago indicating when a stop sign is warranted at intersections, and that's what we go off of based on our recommendations for when a stop sign is warranted and when it's not. With the state having reflectivity requirements on on all signs, you have to replace them every so often, and so by putting one up, there will be maintenance and ongoing costs to these signs. So we try to minimize how many signs we put up.
Okay.
Ones that are justified, we do put up, but we try to limit those.
How much is a stop sign?
The stop sign itself is about $50, but then you've got the staff time to install it.
Okay.
Well, thing is, there's one to the block to the east and one to the block to the west, so,
And to the south.
right.
Yep,
And the street to the north is closed off half the year from the school.
correct.
So there isn't a through street to the north, south, so I don't know why you'd need a stop sign east and west when you got no traffic going north and south. It's kind of a moot point, if you ask me, going east and west.
Correct.
And any cars that are coming can't be going very fast.
No.
How fast can you accelerate in a block?
Right, unless you accelerate in the block. I looked at the traffic to see if there was any accidents in the area there. And MnDOT's data was from January 1 of 2016 through December 31st of 2015. There wasn't any accidents at that location. So based on those items, it doesn't look like a stop sign is warranted at that location.
We don't use stop signs to control speed anyhow, correct?
True.
Got a motion on the table to deny. Any other discussion?
Mr. President, once again, is this the Lauren Boyum rule? Where you vote yes to say no?
Yes is no.
Yes is no.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Amendment to employment agreement John Rodemacher, consider.
Yes, for you is some, this was generated from staff as we've approved the personnel policy 12 in the consent agenda, and we are working on personnel policy 13. In aligning those policies with our current union contracts, there were some discoveries that there may be some clarification or questions within my employment contract as and the status of me being a full-time non-union employee, being the only one listed in the policy. So we just wanted to ensure that with that there would be clarity moving forward, and that we'd have understanding and there wouldn't be conflict in terms of what's within my contract, what's within our personnel policies, what's in the other union contracts, and it seemed simpler to try to align my contract with what our changes in the personnel policy would be versus changing the personnel policy to align with my contract, since either one can be changed. There is one piece within what's in the employment agreement amendment that I'd ask that we amend, or two pieces, excuse me, is that to change December to January of 2017, and then within the vacation leave to ensure that it states starting at 15 days for the employee shall accrue vacation leave starting at 15 days per year as designated. Then there would be the opportunity to increase at that from that base level, because that's where I'm currently at today. The other piece in the amendment is a change to the termination benefits, moving from 2 months to 6 months, and that is a request of mine to align it more with other contracts of my colleagues and peers in this profession. So,
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Got a motion by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Lundberg. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Amendment to service agreement, University of Minnesota, local option sales tax. John?
this is a amendment to our agreement that we heard from the presentation from Ryan earlier tonight. It did have a date of May that the services would be delivered by. With the data, newest data coming out in March, I think there was a little additional time that they are asking to have to this. So you just see that the dates move from May to June. There isn't any implication in terms of cost added to the project. So.
It's the wish of the council. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Councilmember Hanson, second by Councilmember Knopfler. To amend. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Planning Commission recommendation, conditional use, rear yard setback, Aldi's and Corp. Greg?
On June 12th, the Planning Commission held a public hearing for a conditional use from Aldi's. The applicant is requesting that the rear yard setback to the north, because this would be combined in a corner lot, the property would have two front sides, which would be 18th as well as Woodland, and two rear yard setback requirements, which would be to the east as well as to the north, which is where the dollar store is. The request from the applicant is that gets changed from a 40-foot to a 10-foot setback, which would be consistent with an interior lot setback. So up here, this would be the 10-foot setback is what they're requesting. If these were two separate lots, as they're currently platted, that would be a 10-foot setback requirement. But because they're looking at using the one lot for parking, we are requesting that they combine those lots so that the parking and building is all on one lot, which then in turn dictates that would be a 40-foot setback. The Planning Commission unanimously voted to recommend approval of that conditional use to change it from 40 to 10 feet. I see the applicant is here this evening if you have any questions for them. But tonight the recommendation is to approve the conditional use.
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Got a motion by Councilmember Liljegren, second by Councilmember Lundberg to approve the recommendation. Discussion?
So there's no other way to put that building in there?
I'm sure there's 1,000 different ways to put the building in there, but we don't have that. We can't dictate how somebody puts the building on private property. As a property owner, it's their determination how to place that building.
We've denied some of these before. How do you justify denying to other people? And then this one you accept, and then we're going to deny a different one on a different day. What's the,
If these lots stayed two separate, they wouldn't need a conditional use permit. They would still have the 10-foot setback requirement met on the north side, the 40-foot setback requirement met on the east side. Because we are requesting that they combine them because they have the parking on the one lot, that's what dictates it being a corner lot and that it has the 40-foot on either side.
And why are we requiring them to combine them? Tax purposes?
Tax purposes and the fact that if, let's just say 10 years down the road, if this particular business doesn't make it, you still have that big building there. The number of parking stalls required for that size of a building is what's shown on the next lot. So if they're two separate parcel ID numbers, they could sell that southern lot and they wouldn't have enough parking on there, and there's nothing that currently in our ordinance that would stop us from being able to stop that sale because of those parking lots. So to keep it all in one and keep the parking on the one lot, that's what's dictating to combine them.
And I think we've approved more than these than we've denied in the past.
True.
To my recollection.
It kind of makes me wonder why it wasn't that long ago we denied one to a church that had a big right-of-way along the highway that had way more reason to approve it.
Yeah,
I
but
believe
this
we approved
is,
the one to the church, did we not?
No, we denied it. They had to redesign their building.
Redesign the building.
but this, if it were two separate lots,
Then they would meet
it
the
would be
requirements.
10 foot.
That's correct.
So so if they put the building on one lot, it would be a 10 foot. And if they had the parking lot, it would be a 10 foot. But now they're putting it together into one, and so that changes it to 40 foot.
That's correct.
So
So if
I
the
don't see
church
a-
would have put two together, then they could have violated our ordinance. We should have rules in place, and that's, I thought, when we discussed all of our variances and setbacks and everything, that we wanted rules in place for the sake of not having to make exceptions to our rules. So it sounds like we're forcing them or asking them to combine it into one so that they're violating or potentially looking for a variance on the setback. So
Correct.
it sounds goofy, I understand what you're saying, but there's advantages to us that you explained for it to go to one.
Yep.
This probably doesn't have anything to do with it. I've heard from multiple people about the driveway. That has nothing to do with what we're approving now, correct?
Correct. The driveway doesn't really have any bearing on the setback requirements.
Is that driveway out to Woodland because it's got two fronts, three sides, and four backs, or is it?
It really has no bearing. It has to deal with traffic flow both on 18th Street as well as through that development.
Okay. Because I don't know if everybody got the emails, but
Well, I did, Mayor. How do we follow up on that? I think it's a reasonable request. I went and looked at the lot, and I think the people that live in the neighborhood behind there, have a reasonable request, and they're certainly couching their request in a reasonable manner. And the lot's huge. I mean, there should be no problem with the in and out on 18th Street.
The problem, I actually was the one that requested that only one be out on 18th Street, because when you look at the layout with 18th Street and Woodland, you've got 2nd Avenue just to the right of the street. You've got Woodland to the north. You've got Walmart's here. This would be Aldi's, and then you've got the dollar store. When you start having multiple entrances onto a high-traffic road such as 18th Street, you increase the risk of accidents occurring there. So if there's an opportunity to take one of those entrances and move it over to Woodland and consolidate it, you're much better off in terms of safety off to the traveling public. So
unless you live on
But isn't
Woodland.
Woodland, that's the only way for that whole development to get out of there
we had that discussion at the public hearing. There is the option out there to have another outlet to Woodland. When that development was created, they did not want a second outlet going out through there. Clover Glen technically has an easement to have a second outlet to that development. The residents did not want that to go through as a road for that development, but that is an option that the council can pursue if they want.
Where's that easement?
27.
On the other side of the dollar store?
Nope.
Comes up by the bowling or ballroom.
Yeah, by the ballroom.
Okay.
It's out on 27?
Correct. And I will say, when I brought that up at the planning commission meeting, the residents did not want that as well.
Yeah, but they also got 20 more lots in there that can be developed with
That's
twin
true.
homes on each one, so they could have another roughly 80 people, so
True.
they want nobody in their neighborhood is what they want. They don't want that to be a through street, so they got people driving through there. Because right now, it's all cul-de-sacs that you have to turn around and exit the same way you came in. But I don't know. I've gone to Walmart numerous times, and I've never seen people waiting at the stop sign 3-4 deep to get out off from Woodland onto 18th Street.
I did go over there last Tuesday just to see, after the public hearing, just because that was one of their main concerns of traffic on Woodland, to see how many vehicles came in and out of Woodland. I saw 2 vehicles that came out of there in a half an hour stretch that I was sitting in. Both of them were contractor vehicles.
Okay, so solution in search of a problem here again? Because I saw the same thing when I sat up there. I mean, I stopped right in the middle of the road to take a picture so I could remember, and nobody came up behind me.
Any other discussion?
Mr. President, hold
Yep.
on a second. I had talked with Tony earlier whether or not I should abstain because of my job.
Business.
And she thought it'd just be safer. And I said, even though it's not it has nothing to do with keeping them in or out, it would just look cleaner, so I will go along with that, so I'll be abstaining.
2 of them, that is, or?
2 of them, that is.
Aldi has a pharmacy?
No, but I
I'm
work
just
for-
kidding.
Not yet.
Sometimes I wonder about that, because if you look at it, there's just about everybody on this council has a relative or somebody working at Coburn's.
I do not. I can vote with totally clear conscience.
I don't either.
I don't either.
I do. But I'm going to vote anyway.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. 2
Abstention.
abstains. Motion carries. I don't think there'd be no monetary loss or gain for you either way, but
Just appear better. Might be retired before they're done building.
request handicap parking, East Broadway.
We received a petition from EEI. They recently purchased a building that's highlighted in blue up there downtown along Broadway Street. They're requesting a handicap parking stall on 2nd Street at the corner. Currently, there's 2 spots that are 30-minute parking on 2nd Street. We would be proposing to replace one of those with a handicap parking stall over there. That would be an ideal location in terms of there's already a handicap ramp at the intersection of Broadway and 2nd, so if the individual that's using the handicap spot, they can use that ramp to get on the sidewalk and over to the business. So if the council would, we are looking at approval for that if you want to tonight.
What's the wish of the council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion by Alderman Hercock, second by Councilmember Knopfler. To approve. Any discussion?
Well, just a question, what are they going to use the building for?
Yeah, program.
Yeah, program. Employment Enterprises.
Yeah, what,
I don't know what they're using it for, but they have.
What is it?
Multiple.
but I don't know what the GAP program
They
is.
employ handicapped individuals. Used to be the Enterprise Market when it was open. That's when they operated.
I think they're moving,
Over by the Pizza Ranch.
Okay.
they're moving 6 or 7 over there to do some of the work. dropped off over on the west side, is the way I understood it.
They're going to do recycling in there?
I don't think the
Sorting cardboard and pop cans?
They do paper shredding and things like that, and that could be there, I don't know.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Resolution 2017-44. Lori?
Recently, Black Dog Opportunities approached the HPC to do a heritage preservation loan for a building that they are remodeling at 118 First Street South, or First Avenue Southeast. It's the building to the west of the Hauer Brothers building. They are moving a furniture restoration
Framing?
business and framing business is moving in there, and they need to do some work on the storefront. The HPC approved that loan. We approved bills to them tonight in the packet, and I forgot to include the fact that the council needs to approve it as well. So Resolution 2017-44 would approve the loan and the deferred loan to Black Dog Opportunities. The deferred loan is in the amount of $3,583.59, or 30% of the project. 60% would be a loan, which is paid back, and that's $7,167.18. And then there's 10% owner equity in the project.
What's the wish of the council on Resolution 2017-44?
I move to approve it.
Second?
Got a motion by Councilmember Lundberg, second by Alderman Hercock, to approve Resolution 2017-44. Any discussion? Hearing none, resolution, call a roll, please.
Lundberg.
Yes.
Zilka.
Yes.
Hanfler.
Yes.
Liljegren. Yes. Knopfler.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Hercock.
Yes.
Gushik.
Yes.
Carries.
Anyone got any reports? Announcements?
Camp Ripley got some money, build a trail. That's a good report.
1.6 million?
I think there's a little more
1.6.
than 1.6.
I attended the League of Minnesota Cities Conference in Rochester last week. Good conference as usual. The league does an excellent job in updating us and giving us a lot of information, educational things, and providing opportunities to network with our colleagues around the state. A couple of the biggest takeaways that came from the meeting is what we saw in the legislative session this year with the preemption ordinances, or preemption of ordinances, trying to eliminate local control over the thing, over what, from the state, eliminating things that the local governments can do. That's a trend that's likely to continue, especially in the climate nationally that we're seeing. So they have partnered in a much greater fashion with the National League of Cities to probably be lobbying and working at a federal level to help gaining support to stop these preemption ordinances from coming into play. So that was one of the bigger takeaways from the meeting, is that they see it as a continuing trend and that they are working hard at avoiding it. As you are well aware, they were successful in eliminating quite a few of them. Some did get through, but were ultimately vetoed. The one that is with us, or will be implemented, is the 10-day notification on our ordinances. But we are working on a strategy of how to accommodate that change. So,
Anyone else?
The water plant project is essentially complete. So if any of the council members would like to see the improvements over there, let me know and I can set up a tour for you guys. The pavement maintenance project is essentially complete as well. We've got the markings left to be completed on that. You'll notice the west side of town looks pretty good right now in terms of over there. A lot of surfacing improvements, nice and black pavement. We're going to be starting on the east side of town here for the next couple of years to get that up to par as well. Our street project is ongoing and coming along nicely, and our sidewalk project in terms of the ADA improvements, the tripping hazards, that'll be starting after the 4th of July here, so you'll see some more activity going on.
And can you explain what's happening at the dam? You did already to me in case if anyone else isn't
Yep.
aware.
When we purchased that property, and I don't remember what year it was, the intent was to move that road over away from the dam itself. Currently, that road is not a 30-mile-an-hour road. Anybody that's driven down that knows that you have to slow down quite a bit to make that hard corner there. So we're looking at some point in time when funds are available, moving that road over to make it a 30-mile-an-hour curve. That's what the property was purchased for. This year, I knew we were doing our 7th Street project. We had some good material underneath there in terms of when we were digging it up. I wanted to make use of that material since we're going to be paying to haul it off-site. I figured we would use it for something that we could benefit from. So we had them bring the material over there, and then once that gets firmed up, and after the Arts and Crafts will have that seeded and restored. We don't have any plans right now in terms of timeline when that's going to be paved or when it's going to be moved over. I just knew that we had some good material and I wanted to take advantage of that material. So that's kind of what's going on over there.
Anything else? Hearing none, 8:15, we'll adjourn.